U.S.-backed rebels in Syria are fighting each other. A city in Connecticut declares a public health emergency over heroin overdoses, and Christmas vacations are now a microaggression. This is SkyWatchTV for Tuesday, June 28th, 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. First up, the wild swings in the financial markets after last week's Brexit vote were bigger than anything we saw during the financial meltdown of 2008. What next? The collapse of the British pound against the U.S. dollar was historic, unprecedented. Trading in shares of some of Britain's biggest firms were suspended Monday during the turmoil. Automatic circuit breakers kick in on the exchanges when a company's share price falls or rises by more than 8%. Again, bank stocks led the losses. Barclays was down nearly 13%. Royal Bank of Scotland was off more than 15%. And the pound hit a new low against the dollar, $1.32. Lowest point during the 2008 crisis was $1.39 for the British pound. German political leaders seemed stunned by the outcome of Thursday's vote. Germany's Social Democratic Party, a partner in the governing coalition of Chancellor Angela Merkel, held an emergency meeting Friday at the Bundestag. One German newspaper published an editorial blaming the immigration policies of Chancellor Merkel on the British for the British vote. They may be right on, as a matter of fact. Germany essentially volunteered to reconfigure the social makeup of all of Europe by throwing its gates wide open to immigrants, regardless of what the other European nations wanted. Here's a clue. In Dover, which is the British end of the tunnel that goes underneath the British Channel, 60% of the residents there voted to leave the EU. And that's not really a surprise. The head of Eurotunnel says Britain's decision to leave the EU may cause a rush on the tunnel. People in Dover have been watching this from a distance. Migrants stuck on the French side, Calais, may try to force their way through before Britain can build a wall. Apparently, there's a rumor going around that that's going to happen. And who knows, maybe Donald Trump and Boris Johnson are comparing notes. It appears, interestingly enough, that the road to last Thursday's vote began in Chicago. Outgoing Prime Minister David Cameron reportedly made his decision to hold the national referendum in May of 2012 at a pizza place inside Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Cameron and then Foreign Secretary William Hague met to discuss the 2015 general election. They were facing pressure from the UK Independence Party, led by Nigel Farage. The two men decided to hold the referendum over dinner at the Pizzeria Uno in Terminal 3. And this prompted an interesting reaction, the Brexit vote, that is, from the European Parliament. European Parliament President Martin Schulz said, "The British have violated the rules. It is not the EU philosophy that the crowd can decide its fate." Oh, really? Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty. Any member state may decide to withdraw from the Union in accordance with its own constitutional requirements. That's not applicable? I'm stunned. In other news, in Syria, the madness continues. In northern Aleppo province, the landscape keeps changing. Various groups fighting back and forth, exchanging territory along the Turkish border. Several of those factions, including the U.S.-armed Free Syrian Army, or FSA, and the Kurdish YPG, are battling government forces and ISIS, and now lately each other. The Obama administration sent weapons to the FSA and YPG so they would fight the Islamic State, which they do sometimes, but the FSA is more interested in knocking Bashar al-Assad out of power and grabbing more territory for itself. So lately they've been shooting at one another. The FSA lately using TOW anti-tank missiles against the Kurds. And if it wasn't bad enough that two groups armed by the United States are shooting at each other, some news outlets now are reporting that U.S. Special Forces are in the field fighting alongside some of these groups, raising the ugly possibility that even more American troops might be killed with American weapons, or, even more bizarre, that competing groups, both reinforced with American Special Forces, might find themselves on opposite sides of a firefight. And recent territory gains, we're now told, against the Islamic State might not be enough. In fact, might actually backfire. Experts and intelligence officials say the gains haven't been enough to damage ISIS and might actually make it stronger in the long run. The group has lost about 20% of its territory in Syria, almost half the ground that it used to hold in Iraq. That's cost it about a third of its oil production, which made up about half of its annual revenue. But the fact is, most troops fighting ISIS are either Kurdish or they belong to Shiite militias, which may give ISIS legitimacy as the defenders of Sunni Arabs in Iraq and Syria. And there are reports that Shiite militias are committing human rights violations in areas that they've just taken from the Islamic State, like Fallujah. And while there are definitely fewer foreign fighters emigrating to Syria and Iraq to fight alongside the Islamic State, that might force the group to depend more and more on lone wolf terror attacks in the West. One terrorism expert, Hassan Hassan of the Royal Institute of International Affairs in London, says the appeal of the Islamic State to young Muslim men around the world is not connected to the group's military performance in the Middle East. And while we're in Iraq and Syria, one other note, the Kurdish regional government could cut water supplies from the Tigris River to central and southern Iraq. Officials of the KRG say the Iraqi government in Baghdad is discriminating against Kurdish farmers and agricultural production, and so they might turn to using water as a weapon in that desert land. The city of New Haven, Connecticut has declared a public health emergency for an epidemic of heroin overdoses. The latest round apparently linked to a batch of the drug mixed with fentanyl, which is 50 times more potent than heroin. There were so many overdoses, 15 last week alone, that New Haven is running out of the drug used to counteract the effects of a heroin overdose. This one is for us here in the central U.S., just in case we don't have enough to worry about. Experts say the Midwestern United States are overdue for a major earthquake. A friend of mine who majored in geology in college was fixated on this particular seismic zone. The New Madrid seismic zone, 150 miles long, would affect 7 states if it really shook: Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. The Mid-America Earthquake Center at the University of Illinois ran a simulation and wrote a report in 2009, estimated that a major quake along the New Madrid fault would result in about 86,000 deaths and injuries, 2.6 million homes without power, as many as 7 million people homeless, at least temporarily. The last major quakes in the region were in 1811 and 1812, when the area was only lightly populated, but it rang church bells as far away as Boston and Washington, D.C. Now, not all seismologists agree that we're overdue for a major quake there. One seismologist based near Chicago said predictions of doom like this are, in his words, dangerous nonsense. But it makes for good clickbait at the online newspapers. The U.S. military could repeal its ban on transgender troops this week. According to officials, the Pentagon plans to announce the change this Friday, July 1st, as we head into the 4th of July weekend. The plan would direct each branch of the military to implement new policies on recruiting, housing, and uniforms for transgendered soldiers within a year. Representative Mac Thornberry, a Texas Republican who chairs the House Armed Forces Committee, or Armed Services Committee, says he believes that Defense Secretary Ash Carter has put the political agenda of a departing administration ahead of the military's readiness crisis. Thornberry says the force is exhausted from back-to-back deployments, and this detracts from them getting ready for their next round of active duty. This is a headline that might have come from a parody site like The Onion. Motivational speaker asks his audience to storm across a bed of hot coals. Dozens injured. It's not a joke, sadly. This happened last Thursday at a Tony Robbins seminar in Dallas. Firewalking is part of his motivational event. Dallas Fire and Rescue were called to the scene to treat about 36 people with burns. Look, firewalking started as a pagan practice. It's not something Christians ought to be involved in. But even more than that, we've got the God of the universe, the one who spoke everything into existence, on our side. We don't need to walk across hot coals to prove how brave we are. With God on our side, who can stand against us? Talk about missing the point. It must be something with New York City. First, the New York Times editorial board made this bizarre connection, and now the people who walked in the city's annual Gay Pride Parade over the weekend. Only in New York City can somebody hear about a horrific murder, actually 49 of them, committed by a gay Muslim registered Democrat, and find a way to connect that to straight, white Republicans. And one more sign of the times. University of North Carolina has issued a guide this week instructing students that Christmas vacations are a microaggression. The pamphlet, called Career Corner, Understanding Microaggressions, paid for with taxpayer dollars, adds these helpful tips. Golf outings are microaggressions. The words boyfriend and girlfriend are microaggressions. And Christmas vacations are so designated because academic calendars and encouraged vacations, which are organized around major religious observances, centralize the Christian faith and diminish non-Christian spiritual rituals and observances. We notice that the University of North Carolina's winter holiday runs from mid-December to mid-January, just coincidentally including the Christmas holiday. Well, Jesus said the world would hate us for his name's sake, so expect more of this. Well, an exciting announcement for us at SkyWatch TV. This week, we begin broadcasting on World Harvest Television. It's another coast-to-coast outlet, channel 367 if you have direct TV. Beginning this week, we'll broadcast every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time on World Harvest Television. That follows Jim Bakker's program. Again, another coast-to-coast outlet on satellite television, World Harvest Television. We're proud to be a member of that lineup. And another exciting announcement, actually, we'll give you two exciting announcements for the price of one. We've extended the special introductory offer for the new SkyWatch TV magazine. It was to conclude last Friday. We've extended it for another 30 days. You can get 5 years of the new magazine for the price of 3. The first issue goes out in July. Plus, the brand new book, I Predict What 12 Global Experts Believe You'll See by 2025. We'll tell you more about how you can take advantage of that now through July 24th at the end of this program. And you still have time to submit your story for a chance at being published by Defender Publishing. It's part of the release of Nita Horn's biography, No Fences. Her story, which has culminated in the brand new Whispering Ponies Ranch. And we got some great photos of their first outing down in the Branson Landing here last weekend. We need to share those with you soon. The deadline to submit your entry is Thursday, June 30th, this Thursday. Complete instructions and the rules are posted online, skywatchtv.com/nofences. This week on SkyWatch TV, if you're feeling like this just isn't the country that you knew when you grew up, you're right. And Defender Publishing has got a new book that addresses those issues, 12 chapters, each a different topic, what America lost and how we might get it back. When Once We Were a Nation, the title of the book. This week we talked to Chris Putnam, Tom Horn, Allie Anderson, and my best friend, Sharon K. Gilbert, about the chapters they contributed. What has America lost and how do we get it back? That's this week's topic on SkyWatch TV. You'll see it 4 different locations tonight, including coast to coast on the Christian Television Network. That's DirecTV Channel 376, Dish Network Channel 267, and the Glory Star Satellite Channel 117. Tomorrow, the Cornerstone Network, coast to coast, World Harvest Television at 6 p.m. Central Time. That's DirecTV Channel 367. And, of course, WLLA-TV 24 in Kalamazoo. And then on Saturday, Victory Television in Arkansas and around Memphis, and WCLF-TV, that's the flagship station for the Christian Television Network in the Tampa-St. Petersburg area. A complete list of dates and times where you can find SkyWatch TV posted at skywatchtv.com. Just check the top menu bar where it says Channels and click that link. The Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference is sold out, but you can bring it to you. It's just a few weeks away. 40 presentations from 26 speakers in full HD video, and then all those presentations archived for 6 weeks afterward. If you'd like to sign up, check out the packages and the information. Log on to prophecywatchers.com. That's prophecywatchers.com. Your support keeps us going at SkyWatch TV, and we do appreciate it. Our thank you during the month of June gifts suitable for Dad. Yeah, Father's Day has passed, but it's never too late to let Dad know how you appreciate him. The books, The Fisherman's Guide to Life and The Man in the Mirror, Solving the Problems Men Face, we'll send those to you in Canada and the U.S. for your donation of any amount during the month of June. For information and to donate, log on to skywatchtv.com/donate. And just by clicking your mouse, you can help us. Click share, click like where you see us on the web, click subscribe, this little red button down here in the corner if you're watching on YouTube. That gets the word around. You'll find my stuff on the internet, these places here. And if you've got email for me, questions, comments, or suggestions, please send those to dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV. Save nearly half off the cover price when you subscribe now to the brand new SkyWatch TV magazine. For a limited time, a 5-year subscription to SkyWatch TV magazine is just $99. That's more than $75 off the cover price, which is like getting 2 years for free. Exclusive content, articles on prophecy, discovery, and the supernatural from Tom Horn, Chris Putnam, Josh Peck, science updates from Sharon K. Gilbert, geopolitics from yours truly, and guest writers like Pulitzer Prize-nominated journalist Troy Anderson, renowned Bible scholar Dr. Michael Heiser, Pentagon advisor Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, and more. But there is more. As an early subscriber, you'll be the first to get this new book from Defender Publishing. I predict what 12 global experts believe you'll see by 2025. This is a $20 value and includes best-selling authors like Joel Richardson, Mark Biltz, Carl Gallups, Tom Horn, Paul McGuire, and more. Find out what they think about the coming war between ISIS and the Vatican, the future of the Temple Mount and the Ark of the Covenant, a worldwide manifestation of angels, and the coming age of human hybrids. And we'll also add this DVD, The Best of SkyWatch TV 2015, a $25 value, including our most compelling interviews from last year, including Chuck Missler, Steve Quayle, the discussion of the Georgia Guidestones with Chris Pinto, and more. All of this together worth more than $200. Yours now for just $99. Subscribe now. SkyWatch TV magazine. Just call the number on your screen or log on to skywatchtvstore.com.